Hello everyone and welcome back to A Slippery Slope. Today we have part 8. You voted on this, however, as I just checked, it was actually 50-50, but we'll go with this one for now. Don't worry though, fainting in front of the team for Kageyama is also coming very soon. In the community post you will find another poll to vote on for tomorrow, and now let's go. No news. They have gathered information about the trail and planned the rescue, but the weather is keeping them at bay. Bokuto's heart sank further if possible as Kuroo joined them in the bedroom. He had his phone in one hand and looked utterly exhausted. These last hours had been hell. No attempt at reaching out to Akaashi had been successful. No one had heard or seen them since the earthquake began, and as for now, no one was even looking for them. As foolish as it was, part of him wanted to jump into the car and drive out there to search for him himself right now. The only thing keeping him grounded and level-headed enough not to was the warmth leaning against him. Kenma sat in his lap, well aware of the ace's anxiety and clinging onto him for comfort as well. He had been quiet ever since they reunited. It wasn't his usual calm and collected silence. He was terrified. Bokuto had seen him like this only a couple of times before. From the 4 possible responses to a perceived life-threatening situation, Kenma's was either freeze or flee, and often when pushed into a corner, he'd go mute, making himself as small as possible. Just now, he curled himself tighter against Bokuto. Even his breathing seemed stifled. Kuroo looked at them both with a mixture of desperation and care, as though he was torn between the worry for his missing boyfriend and caring for the two by his side. Ultimately, he couldn't do much aside from soothing them while they waited anyway. I was also not the first one to call them repeatedly. Yamagata's boyfriend was first, apparently, and Sakusa and Komori hold the current record for the most checkups. I feel sorry for the person having to handle the calls. Bokuto hummed distracted. He rocked them softly and rested his chin on Kenma's head while lost in thoughts. In the meanwhile, Kuroo quickly changed into pajamas and joined them on the bed. A warm hand cupped his cheek and made Bokuto look up. His golden eyes shimmered with unshed tears, already red-rimmed from before, and for a moment he looked so utterly hopeless that it broke Kuroo's heart. Hey, it's okay. They're gonna find him. Keiji isn't alone out there. He'll be fine. Bokuto's lip trembled, and his resolve weakened as the first tear fell. Kuroo touched their foreheads together and continued whispering soft reassurances to the other. One hand found Bokuto's while he brought his other arm around him and Kenma. They remained in the embrace as the seconds passed, holding on to each other while being forced to wait and hope. Bokuto wished he could have stayed awake to help, but the exhaustion got the better of him. His body hurt with a dull ache, and the soreness in his muscles reminded him that he had played a game earlier that day. It had been just this morning, but that seemed eons ago. His head felt increasingly heavy and his mind drifted off. None of the thoughts and images were pleasant, but they pulled him into the dark nonetheless. Oh. Involuntary shivers hunted down his spine as the fabric of his pants slowly got soaked in the rainwater. He didn't know how much time had passed, but he was sure the darkness surrounding them had long ceased to be just as a result of the dark clouds above. It was the middle of the night, and there was no rescue in sight. They had huddled up closer for warmth, but it did little in the great scheme of things. Akaashi's skin felt cold, as though the icy feeling bore its way through to his bones. It created a stark contrast to the glazing hot pain still radiating from his wounds and chest. The contrast made him nauseous, and he felt himself starting to sweat. If it wasn't for the nausea, he probably would have felt the hunger gnawing at him. He hadn't eaten since this morning, and now painfully remembered the bento Kuroo had packed him. It lay somewhere abandoned in the woods now, together with the rest of his things. Everything that reminded him of them was gone. This morning he still considered putting on one of Bokuto's hoodies that Kemma loved to wear as well, so much it might just have been his. With that in mind, he didn't, scared it would get dirty or he might tear it on the trip, but now he wished he had. His head fell from Suna's shoulder and back against the cold stone. Everything here felt cold. You miss them too, don't you? Slowly his eyes went semis. Although still glassy and a little unfocused as he seemed to stare into the distance, he recognized the same pain in them he was battling himself. You know what Kenjiro said to me this morning? That I shouldn't worry. I'd be home before him. Something akin to a laugh escaped his throat. It echoed even through the pouring rain. He's been probably really busy in the hospital the whole day. I feel awful for making him worried like that. And Hayato, I promised him cuddles when I came back. Taichi too. No. Akaashi saw the glistening of tears as they slipped down his cheeks. It hurt seeing him like that, as though he was losing hope, but he understood him very well. I thought about adopting a child with them. Just this morning. I haven't even told them, but in that moment, everything felt just perfect, and I don't know. I wanted to share that. The words just passed his lips without even thinking about it. It felt right. An odd sense of relief and warmth took hold of his heart as he spoke. It hurt. It hurt so much thinking about it, but he suddenly wasn't alone in this anymore. I just can't imagine how good of a father Kuroo would be. Tetsu, he is so caring, you know. And go. He'd play with them, get them both in trouble in no time. I think most people don't think Emma would do well with children, including him, probably. But I think he'd be a better parent than he realizes. Emma has this. He accepts people for who they are, and really, that's one of the most important things of parenting, isn't it? He smiled weakly. The words were just spilling out from his mouth, and without notice, so did the tears from his eyes. He sniffed before another wave of coughing overwhelmed him. And you? What part would you do? He half coughed, half laughed at the question as he tried to catch his breath. I probably would have to be the strict one with everyone else swallowing them rotten. What about you? don't think we're ready for kids. We're still working on financial stability. He let out a short laugh, but Akaashi shook his head slightly. That's not what I meant. What are your plans with them? What will you do in the future? Will, not want. They needed to believe they would get out of here, otherwise they had already lost. Semi seemed to think about it for a moment. I don't know. There is a million things I want to experience with them, but even if we wouldn't, if we never could afford to buy a house or go on trips around the world, it'd be fine. I have them. That's enough. Then what will you do once you get home? You mean, after going to the hospital for the most definite concussion I earned myself, and surviving Kenjiro's threats that I should never make him thus worried or else? I think I would just spend the next couple of days in bed and cuddle with him. Yeah, that sounds nice. Just making sure we are all together again. Akaashi nodded slowly. His plans were similar, with one tiny addition. Yeah, that sounds nice. He could see Semi drifting off to sleep again. Akaashi was sure this wasn't a good idea, but he had a hard time fighting his own heavy eyelids from falling shut. He couldn't blame him when Semi lost that fight. He would just have to stay awake for them. Someone had to. Suna's breathing was still irregular and alarming. He, as well as Semi, could have sustained internal injuries that could take a turn for the worst at any given moment. Someone needed to have an eye on that. He prayed rescue would reach them quickly. His resolve was crumbling to pieces before his very eyes. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I hope you liked this part. And yeah, I'm really excited for how this will develop and everything. If you liked it, of course, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because that would help this channel so much and it would mean the world to me. Also, tell me your favorite quote of this video under the pinned comment. It would mean so much. Furthermore, vote in the community tab for the video for tomorrow. There are 2 options. I'm very excited which one to pick. Special thanks to my Neckos. It means so much to me that you're supporting this channel. And for everyone else, check out my other social media, or even better, the other videos in the end card. And now I hope you have a wonderful and amazing
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be